everyone, I'm Kendra McNamara and thank you for tuning in to RAM TV6 for your World News Update. Hurricane Sandy could be headed towards the East Coast, while the federal government sues Bank of America for fraud, and the gender gap in the presidential race has, well, disappeared. In sports, the Giants take Game 1 of the World Series. Plus, Kobe Bryant's status for the Lakers season opener is uncertain. But first, let's take a look at today's top story. Hurricane Sandy makes a deadly impact in the Caribbean, and the storm could be headed for the east coast of the U.S. News reports indicate that 2 people have died from the hurricane, 1 in Jamaica and 1 in Haiti. The National Hurricane Center says Sandy is currently a Category 2 storm with winds of 105 miles per hour. It's over eastern Cuba as of this morning. Sandy is expected to roll through the Bahamas next. Tropical storm warnings have been issued for parts of Florida, but it could impact anywhere along the East Coast. Massachusetts Emergency Management says the hurricane could make landfall somewhere between Maine and Virginia. Residents should expect to see heavy rain, flooding, high winds, and widespread power outages. The Hurricane Center says the storm will shadow the East Coast in the coming days and could, quote, potentially transition over the weekend into a powerful nor'easter. In national news, the federal government is taking Bank of America to court. Prosecutors are suing the banking giant, accusing it of defrauding mortgage giants Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac of at least $1 billion. U.S. Attorney Preet Bharara says the supreme lender Countrywide Financial generated thousands of fraudulent home loans. B of A acquired Countrywide in 2008. Bharara says the fraudulent lending continued in 2009. The loans were sold to Fannie and Freddie and later defaulted at a higher rate than normal. This allegedly caused more than $1 billion in losses and numerous foreclosures. A new poll shows that the gender gap between President Obama and Mitt Romney is, well, gone. The Associated Press GFK survey shows that less than 2 weeks before Election Day, Romney has erased Obama, a 16-point advantage among women. In turn, the president has mostly eliminated the Republican challenger's edge among men. That leaves the race in a dead heat. The poll shows Romney favored by 47% of likely voters and Obama by 45%. That result is within the poll's margin of sampling error. Obama appears on late-night TV and blasts controversial comments about rape by a Republican Senate candidate. If you had not heard, Indiana Senate candidate Richard Murdoch said that pregnancies caused by rape are, quote, something God intended to happen. On The Tonight Show, Obama says, quote, I don't know how these guys come up with these ideas. Let me make a very simple proposition. Rape is rape. It is a crime. The president went on to say, quote, this is exactly why you don't want a bunch of politicians, mostly male, making decisions about women's health care. A toxic cloud forces thousands of people in southeast Texas to remain indoors overnight. The cloud formed after 300 gallons of hydrochloric acid leaked at a storage facility in Texas City, southeast of Houston. 9 people were hospitalized. They include 4 firefighters who were hospitalized for exposure after a tank ruptured at the storage facility near the port of Texas City. Over 45,000 residents were ordered by emergency management officials to remain indoors until the vapor cloud dissipated. KTRK TV in Houston reports that city officials are working to clean up the leak. CNN reports that federal officials are proposing a fine of more than $350,000 against U.S. Airways. They say the carrier flew a jet 916 times after failing to perform required tests and inspection on an engine repair. A spokeswoman for U.S. Airways says the flights were, quote, in compliance. By law, the airline has 30 days to respond to the FAA. In a letter to the airline, the agency says U.S. Airways performed maintenance on a Boeing 757 back in 2010. After discovering a leak fuel pump in the right engine, the airline replaced the pump but failed to perform 2 mandatory tests and required inspection. Now, let's take a look at our College Corner. The federal government and the University of Iowa reached an agreement on the 3 flood-damaged buildings. FEMA will pay to replace the 3 buildings at new locations. The agreement ends a months-long federal dispute over how much money the university will receive for those projects. Over $83 million in funding was at stake in the dispute. Now, let's take a look at showbiz. Fans loved Philip Phillips' song called Home when he sang it before being crowned as last season's American Idol. Fans still love the song. Home has officially been certified double platinum for 2 million downloads. It is the first Idol coronation song to ever reach that level. Phillips performed the song on the season's finale performance night last May, then again on the finale after he was declared the winner. The single debuted at number 10 on the Billboard Hot 100 with a first week sales figure of 278,000 downloads. And finally, in sports, Pablo Sandoval joins some esteemed company as the Giants take Game 1 of the World Series. The third baseman hits 3 home runs for the San Francisco Giants, which routs the Detroit Tigers 8-3. Sandoval joins Reggie Jackson, Babe Ruth, and Albert Pujols as the only players to hit 3 home runs in a World Series game. Giants starter Barry Zito goes 5 2/3 innings, allowing only 6 hits and 1 run. Tigers ace Justin Verlander lasts only 4 innings, giving up 6 hits and 5 runs. The Tigers look to even things up tonight. Game 2 of the World Series is set for AT&T Park in San Francisco. Fox will have live coverage beginning at 8 Eastern. Doug Fister will get the start on the mound for Detroit against the Giants' Madison Bumgarner. According to Weather.com, the forecast for the game time is clear skies with temperatures in the low 60s. Winds should be north-northwest at around 11 miles per hour. The Giants may be in good shape after winning Game 1. The winner of the first game has won 8 of the past 9 World Series. Now, it's unclear whether Lakers star Kobe Bryant will be ready for the start of the regular season next week. Los Angeles hosts the Dallas Mavericks at the Staples Center on Tuesday night. Bryant sat out last night's exhibition game against the Clippers with a foot injury. He has already been ruled out of tonight's preseason finale in San Diego against Sacramento. Bryant's injury is classified as a strain, and the team is officially saying he is out indefinitely. ESPN LosAngeles.com reports Bryant did show some improvement in his foot to team officials before last night's shoot-around. The New York Islanders are moving. However, they're not leaving Long Island. Owner Charles Wang announces that the NHL team will move to the new Barclays Center in Brooklyn in 2015. Wang says the Islanders have made a 25-year deal to play at the arena, already home to the NBA's Brooklyn Nets. He adds that the agreement is, quote, ironclad, unquote, with no opt-out clause. The Islanders have played at the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum since their founding in 1972. However, Wang has not been able to reach a deal with Nassau County to replace the outdated arena. Despite the good news involving the Islanders, NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman says hopes of playing an 82-game season are pretty much gone. League owners locked out the players over a month ago, and labor negotiations have ground to a halt. Bettman indicates he is unsure when the league and the union will resume negotiations. If a new deal is not reached soon, more games could be canceled. In fact, ESPNNewYork.com reports the NHL's big moneymaker, the Winter Classic, on New Year's Day, is very much in jeopardy. The Lions and Bears are rivals in the NFC North, and they're rivals for the top spot on the list of the NFL's least liked players. According to a list published by Forbes, Detroit defensive tackle Ndamukong Suh is the least liked player in the league. Chicago quarterback Jay Cutler comes in second. The survey of fans was conducted by Nielsen and ePoll Market Research. Eagles quarterback Michael Vick is third, followed by 49ers receiver Randy Moss, Raiders quarterback Matt Leinart, and Cowboys quarterback Tony Romo. Well, that's all we have for you today for your World News Update. Again, I'm Kendra McNamara. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.